Hey everybody and welcome to today's video. So this channel just reached 400,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. And so to celebrate that, I am going to show you how I made a very big cake in polymer clay. And also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more fun DIYs. So in order to make a 100 layer cake, you're going to need lots of clay. Here are 10 different colors that I mixed up, and I'm going to make 10 layers of each color. In order to make the layers, I'm going to use a pasta machine. So here I'm preparing the clay by flattening it down a little bit. And then I am just running all the colors through the pasta machine using the thickest settings. And using a pasta machine is just going to save me a lot of time, and it's also going to make the layers more even. And once you're done with the pasta machine, you're going to end up with this beautiful rainbow of clay pieces. And we're then going to use them to make the layers for the cake. And to do that, I'm using a small round cookie cutter, and I'm just pressing it down on the clay to make 10 circles. And then you just repeat that for all of the colors, making 10 layers of each. This was probably the most time-consuming part of this project, but I also wanted my cake to have layers of icing in between, so I had to do it all again, but with just white clay instead. And then you can go ahead and add one white layer to all of the colored pieces. This kind of also took forever because I wanted them all to be positioned really perfectly, or else the cake would end up being uneven. But once you're done with that, it is time to stack the cake. I did this by making 10 smaller cakes, all of them containing all of the colors in the same order. And once you've got all of your 10 mini cakes ready, it is time to start the icing process. I'm going to give my cake a bit of a more liquid icing later, but first I'm covering the sides with regular clay. And I'm doing this so that the layers of the cake won't show through later. So yeah, do that to all of the cakes, and then it's time to cut out some cake pieces. And the reason why I'm choosing to do this now is because it would be really hard to cut a nice line through 100 layers at once, and also I wanted to do it before I add the liquid clay so that it won't smudge all over the cake. But once your cake is cut open, you can go ahead and add all of the pieces together. And then you do the same thing again, but with a smaller piece of cake until you've got something that looks like this. And now it is time for the actual icing part. I created my icing by mixing regular clay with a little bit of water. I've actually made an entire video about how to do this, so if you'd like to see that, you can click the link in the description. And once I had a consistency that I liked, I just applied it to the cake. And I also wanted my cake to have some birthday candles, so here I'm taking a bunch of different colors and rolling them out. I then added them together again and roll it out a little bit more. And you can then twist it a little bit more to make a nice pattern. I then cut out 5 pieces, and here I'm using some thin wire to make the wicks. And I'm letting it stick out a little bit in both ends, because this is going to make it stick better to the cake later. And to make the application a bit easier, I actually baked the candles and let them cool down. And by doing this, it is then going to be really easy to add them to the cake. And the next step is to bake the cake. Because the cake was so long, it was a bit of a challenge to fit it in the oven, but I eventually made it work. And after giving my cake plenty of time to cool down, I decided that I wanted to add some more details. So here I'm using a bunch of different colored paint and also a dotting tool to cover the entire cake with sprinkles. And after that, I took some glaze and covered the entire outside of the cake. And then you are finally done. So this is how my 100 layer cake turned out. Although it might seem like it was sort of easy to make, I can tell you that it was not. This was probably the most time-consuming thing that I've ever made in polymer clay. But it turned out pretty cool, and also it was a lot of fun to make. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see next, you can let me know in the comments. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!